We will return to your scheduled programming shortly, or we are currently experiencing technical difficulty.
What is going on YouTube? Michael J. Crawford, the anti-trekker here, and sorry for the painful intro there. That was just to kind of give you guys a feeling of how my back feels when I'm having a bad day. So that song is just the verbal equivalent of that. Speaking of the wonderful ear candy there, BIRDOPREY is here to take your congratulations for his wonderful singing achievements. Good to see you, Joe. Mike is here from Columbus, Ohio. Good to see you. Let's see. Josh says, hi, Garfield Trekker. Yes, it's a Monday. Peter is here. Donald Carlson is painfully covering his ears. Peter says, check Discord, new trailer, and I got a screenshot that everyone should see. Well, here's the problem. I see there's like you sent me a couple of videos here, but I can't like I can't play copyrighted material, my friend. I don't want to get in trouble. Sledgehammer says that title could not agree more. Yes, it is definitely Monday. So BIRDOPREY says Nuri is here. No idea what he's talking about there. Robert is here. John says he's first, even though he's not. At work on 4 hours of sleep and feeling like crap. Help, I don't know what I'm doing. Oh man, Sledgehammer, I feel your pain there, my friend. That violated 3 sections of the Geneva Convention. Not true. There is, in fact, a special exemption in the Geneva Convention bylaws when referring to BIRDOPREY 5. He, for some reason, has managed to get a exemption from having any rules enforced on him. And people say it has to do with his connections to organized crime. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that it's a fact that he cannot be prosecuted under the Geneva Convention. Peter says, look at the image. Well, I saw the image, the thumbnail, basically, for the video, where you show, it shows Captain Marvel holding Thanos above her and all that, and ripping his head off and stuff. I know a lot of people are afraid that that's what's going to happen in Endgame. I hope that's not the case, and I don't think it will be, but we'll find out. And very close look at Stark. Well, that was Stark and supposedly Professor X, right? That looked like that's yeah, that's Patrick Stewart. However, we know that Patrick Stewart is not in Endgame, so as fun of a picture as that is, that's not what we're gonna see. I'm sure it's a fan-made trailer, and it might be really good, but I got to be careful about playing stuff like that. And so this looks like it's a shot from Days of Future Past, just based on the lighting and everything. And it's cool the way they matched it up with the lighting of the shot of Stark, but, you know, obviously fake. Oh, the nurse is there. That's what you were saying. Oh, okay. So BIRDOPREY's nurse is there. So BIRDOPREY's nurse. Let me say this to you. First of all, BIRDOPREY has been talking about how you love my hair, and so here, just for you, let me take down the hair. Here we go. There we go. There we go. We got the full Braveheart look going today, just for BIRDOPREY's nurse. Now, here's what I ask in exchange, BIRDOPREY's nurse. BIRDOPREY, what is your nurse's name? Because I feel really stupid saying BIRDOPREY's nurse. So you got to tell me what is your nurse's name, so I can address your nurse properly. So you say that is from the trailer. I'll take a look in a minute here. Let's just see. But I'm still waiting for BIRDOPREY to answer what his nurse's name is, because I'm not going to say BIRDOPREY's nurse. Or Camille. Okay, so Camille. Camille, how you doing? Let's get personal for a minute, Camille. Camille, just a little special message just for you. I know that you're a kind, caring, loving person. I know that you take care of Joe's weakness, that you're there to take care of him and nurse him back to health, hence the name of your job title. And as much as I appreciate it, I just ask one small favor. Please, give him a colonoscopy right now. Thank you. All right, so no, in all seriousness, though, thank you, Camille, for hanging out with Bird and taking care of him, because without people like you, he would probably not be with us, and so I truly, truly appreciate it. And it looks like BIRDOPREY is typing something incoherently because of the insertion of the equipment into his body. So, good job, Camille. And Mr. Miles says, you're on early and I'm not late. Where's my wrench? Let me see. I got a lot of stuff piled up here because I've been trying to... There it is. There it is. So your wrench is right there in all of its glory. So, and of course we want to stop. There we go. Let's get the view screen back to normal. All right, so you look like some of the young old Benjamin Franklin paintings with a goatee. So could I be on a $5 bill? A tsunami of a completely other sort. Yes. So anti-trigger advocating anal violation. Hashtag #MePoo. Hashtag Bird2. Now here's the thing. It's not anal violation, John. It's preventative health care. There is a difference between anal violation and preventative health care. I am simply looking out for Joe's best interests in asking Camille to make sure that there's nothing wrong inside of BIRDOPREY's butt. And it's only out of genuine loving and caring for BIRDOPREY that I asked Camille to do that. And in fact, what you know, honestly, what you should probably do, Camille, and you know, all kidding aside for a minute, I know the colonoscopy thing was funny, but instead, really what you need to do is give him a catheter, but use a McDonald's straw. All right, so Polyp lives matter, says John Meyer. Oh, man. Colonoscopies are fun, says JP. Well, you know, JP, I've had 3 colonoscopies, and I can honestly say that fun was definitely not on the list of terms that I would use to describe it. But, hey, all people are different, and so, yes. Maybe you enjoy having a large metallic probe shoved up into your backside, but that's not for me. That's just not something that I enjoy. Now, for all I know, BIRDOPREY really enjoys it, but... BIRDOPREY says, hello, can't type for a while, I'm busy. Well, of course you're busy, because if Camille is doing her job right, you have a huge piece of metal going up your backside while at the same time a McDonald's straw going down your... Yeah, that's... I tell you, BIRDOPREY is probably in a form of agony that very few have ever experienced. Peter says, that reminds me, I'm 40, almost time for a prostate check for the first time. Man, wait till you're 50. And the thing is, see, I've had to have regular colonoscopies and stuff early because of my cancer scare that I had a few years back. And so most people don't start getting them until they're 50, but yeah. Joseph throws a couple of euros in, says, tuned in the words anal violation. What a fun. Yeah, you never know what you're going to walk into with this show. So let me get back to what Peter was sending me. Now, Peter, you're saying that this is genuine. Now, I find that very difficult to believe. So let me take a look here. So you're saying that this this screenshot is genuine. Now, I don't buy that for a second, because it doesn't look in... I mean, you can see the divide here where you obviously have 2 different scenes. And so, yeah. For all we know, BIRDOPREY likes that. Well, we'll find out in a few minutes. When BIRDOPREY is able to type and Camille has released her grip on him, we will find out if he, in fact, enjoyed Camille's loving touch. So, the image is only for 1 second. My eyes were quick enough to notice. All right, so you're saying that in the actual trailer, you can see that image. I'll tell you what, Peter, send me a link to, because this is like the Avengers Endgame new trailer 3 Thanos Lost. That's coming from a channel called Game Parody. So I'm about 99.9% sure that it is meant as a parody. And let me see here. Skip ad. Alright. So what you see, yeah, this is not the trailer anyway, so it's very well done. Right, and yeah, some of this stuff is extremely well put together, I'll say that. But it's not real. And let's see, like this shot right here, this Thanos looks pretty good, but not quite all the way there. They keep cutting to shots that are in the trailer, intermixed with stuff that obviously was edited together and stuff from prior Avengers stuff. So yeah, this is a nice, as far as fake trailers are concerned, this is a pretty darn good one. But yeah, clearly fake, but very good fake. Just checked IMDb. Okay. Well, IMDb, are you saying that IMDb shows that Patrick Stewart is in Endgame? Because That I'll tell you, that is a good fake, but you can tell it's fake from a few things. There are a few key things about it. Number one, the quality of the video changes in different shots. If you look carefully, you can see in some of the shots, the people in them look slightly fuzzier or blurrier, and that's because what they do, and I've done this trick myself when, like when I put together the BIRDOPREY 1, in order to make the shot look like something other than it is, you crop part of the shot out to get rid of somebody to change the circumstance of the shot. And so you can tell if you look at it that some of these shots are cropped, and some of them have less than perfect compositing. And Marvel would not put out something that is not that sloppy, unless it's called Captain Marvel. Thomas says, I tweeted the GIF you wanted of the Burnham earboxing at the Cyborg at you. I didn't know. Let me see. Let me bring up Twitter here. That earboxing thing really bothered me, and I'll tell you, that's something that that I just that bothered me a lot. So let me see if I'm horrible with Twitter. What's all stocked up? Here we go. Yeah, so I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but there, thank you very much. That looks like a nice cardio workout there. That really does. Oh man. But yeah, that earboxing thing really bothered me. The fact that Robot Chicken is 90% mechanical, and in fact there's so little of her left that she has to transfer her memories into a storage computer and stuff because there's not enough hard drive space, because apparently by the 23rd century we have not improved hard drives at all. And the problem is that, yeah, it just looks bad. By the way, how do you guys like the star field behind me as opposed to the fish? I mean, because I know some people really like having the fish there, but I thought I'd try something different. Admiral says, beat me by a second. Captain Marvel was sloppy. Yeah, that's true. Everyone knows that you smack a robot in the ears to hurt them. Well, you know, that's the thing. Like when Kirk, I'm trying to think of when we've seen people fight robots on Star Trek before. The smoke is starting to come out of your ears after you watch that scene. I tell you, oh man, I was mad. And for those of you that saw the actual live stream, I really lost it during that fight scene, because there is absolutely no way that Michael Burnham or anybody else, it's not the, ooh, Michael Burnham, you know, like if it was Captain Kirk fighting her and doing what she did, I would be just as mad, because it is clear that, I mean, from what they've shown of Robot Chicken in the past few episodes, that there's no way you could physically overcome her. I prefer those over the fish, says Mr. Miles. All right, thank you. You must have had great St. Patrick's Day, because my... Oh, is it still green? Yeah, it is. I'm sorry. Thank you for reminding me. Let me fix that. Data just destroyed every enemy. Yeah, exactly. But now Data, to be fair, Data is a full-on android, while Robot Chicken is actually a cyborg. But from what we see of her, it appears that her body is pretty much mechanical. And the fact that she's able to pick up Burnham with one hand and throw her or kick her and have her fly 25 feet across the room and jump 15, 20 feet in the air and do all this stuff, it's clear that she is physically augmented, to say the least. And then to have and Burnham actually shoots her at point blank range with a phaser rifle. I didn't count it, but it was like 4 or 5 shots that she hit her square in the chest, and it didn't even phase her. And yet, Burnham was able to punch the robot and stagger her, earbox her and stagger her, and force her back into that airlock. I was like, that was just the most stupid thing ever. Josh says, I'm tired of the shark attacking me. The shark's all right as long as it doesn't get a hold of my glorious hair. But yeah. Harry Warden is in the house, says, hello there. Hello, Harry. Good to see you, my friend. But anyway, I just like the idea of this. This Starfield is actually a YouTube video. It is about 4 hours long. And it's actually a neat shot because you can see there's a galaxy in the distance there. And if so, depending on the length of the live stream, you can tell you would be able to tell exactly how far into the live stream I am based on how close we are to this galaxy. Because I'm going to skip ahead for just a minute. Like right now, we're about 20 minutes into the video because we've been streaming for 21 minutes. However, if I skip ahead to, let's go to an hour. So watch the background here. I'll move over a little. So, whoops, that's just paused. That was stupid of me. Let's go to the 1 hour mark. There we go. And you can see we're closer to the galaxy. If we go to this is about an hour and 45 minutes, and we're actually passing through the arm. 2 hours and 45 minutes further through the arm, and there's something, I don't know what that is, in the star field there. You know, and then by about 3.5 hours, you're out to a pure star field. And so I love this video. I mean, it's a 4 hour long video. I never saw much point to it until now. And then I'm like, oh, hey, I can use that. Although, based on the way that I tend to sit here on the show, I'll probably end up taking this, downloading it, and flipping it so that the center of the galaxy isn't behind my head, but rather is over on the other side of the screen. Wow, you actually said hello there and didn't criticize me for using a Star Wars quote, even though you just talked about Star Trek. Well, why would I criticize you for using a Star Wars quote? I even did my best Obi-Wan Kenobi impersonation when I said that, but which is not a very good Obi-Wan Kenobi impersonation. But here's the thing. Yeah, I love Star Trek, but I also love Star Wars, all right? So maybe, Star Trek is my first love, and I love Star Trek more than I love Star Wars, but I'm certainly not going to get on people for being Star Wars fans. So, but anybody is welcome as long as they are a nerd. Josh says, Anti-Trekkers invading another galaxy to get away from Star Trek Discovery and The Last Jedi. Yes, absolutely. And in fact, Harry, that's like, for example, like the Marvel DC thing. I love Marvel movies, but I also have enjoyed the DC movies for what they are. The DC movies obviously have lacked focus, and they really need a person, a visionary to run the DC segment of Warner Brothers, someone like Kevin Feige, because they're all over the map, right? Because you went from Superman, emo Superman, for lack of a better term, and by the way, I liked Man of Steel. I thought it was a good movie. To really dark with Batman v Superman. Then we went to, oops, I knocked the tribble over. Then we went to, a more or less, not dark but not light tone with Wonder Woman. Then they just got stupid with Justice League. Then they went to a lighter, almost Marvel tone with Aquaman. And now with Shazam, it looks downright silly. So they are like all over the map as far as their movies. Marvel, say what you want about Marvel, but except for the first few films, Marvel has been extremely consistent. So when Marvel is trying to find their footing, if you look at Iron Man, Thor, Captain America, the First Avenger, and the Incredible Hulk, those are the movies, and then Iron Man 2. Those are the movies that led up to the Avengers. Those movies were a little jarring in tone, but not as crazy as DC. However, after Avengers, Marvel, they had it down. And they knew exactly what they were doing at that point, because they took the tone from the first few movies and they figured out what worked, what didn't work, and created the Marvel feel. And that is actually very consistent with Stan Lee's old philosophy of Marvel Comics. And by the way, Geek Factor 9, I agree. Shazam does look slapstick, but I will say this. The second trailer for Shazam, I'm on board. The first trailer for Shazam, I was like, this looks stupid. This looks like it's a kid's show and all that. But the second one, while it still is silly and it's still obviously meant to be more comedy than anything else, it looks fun. And so I'm actually looking forward to Shazam based on trailer number 2. Trailer number 1, I was like, I could take or leave it. What's on your head? Screw alarms. Number 8. Well, good to see you, Thomas. I'm glad that you are with us, because I was getting a little worried. But let's take a look at number 8. How could we improve on the greatest movie of the early 1980s? Well, I think there's a way.
Ariel Natris Oris Quasi Bedhead to Chell Dementa. Yeah, I'm not gonna.
So, by the way, Thomas, since you missed the beginning of the live stream, and remember that there is a woman by the name of Camille who right now is inserting various objects into various orifices of Bird of Prey, and there's nothing he can do because he can't type while she's inserting these various things into his body. And so everybody wish Camille the best of luck as she continues to insert objects into Bird of Prey. Camille, thank you for all that you do. The nursing community is truly the unthanked heroes of our society, because you guys deal with all the nasty stuff that nobody in their right mind would want to deal with. The DC cinematic universe is just as insane as the Joker. Good way to put it. Yeah, it really is directionless, and that's the problem. I'm being distracted by all the hair moving around. It reminds me of Galactus in Green Lantern. Well, Galactus wasn't in Green Lantern, but I put my hair back for you. Thor Ragnarok's tone was totally off from the others. I don't think it was completely off. Thor Ragnarok's tone was definitely a lighter tone for Thor. But all it really did was take the Marvel flavor and dial up the comedy a bit. But if you follow that film, the story was very Marvel. The visuals were very Marvel. They just took Thor and they lightened him up a bit, which I think he needed. There's a cat on your head. Well, that's just mean, Peter. Thor Ragnarok is in line with Marvel's cosmic tone. Exactly. If you look at Thor Ragnarok, it's kind of Thor bridging the gap to Guardians of the Galaxy. It was very much... Thor Ragnarok and Guardians fits perfectly. And you could almost argue, and you never know, as smart as Kevin Feige is, that was intentional because they knew they were going to be having Thor hanging out with the Guardians in Infinity War. And see, it's more of an Octopus Pirates of the Caribbean style. Are you talking about my hair? That's just mean. You forgot to wake Thomas up before you started the stream today. Yeah, I know. You got into the bottles. You're right. Doomcock did that Excalibur line last night. Bird of Prey was better. Did he really? That's funny. I haven't watched Doomcock in a little while. I've been too busy. But that's awesome if he actually did that. That's funny. Hey, Eddie Trekker, has JP at Egotastic Funtime called you out by name in one of his videos yet? Not that I'm aware of. As far as I know, JP has never seen the Anti-Trekker channel. I've never talked to JP directly, but I'm sure that he's a perfectly nice guy, and he's always welcome to invoke my great name. But so I'm sure JP is great, but no. Bird of Prey is back alive as Thomas is retching all over the place. There was no insertion. I'm currently out of bed as my mom and Camille work on it. Yeah, sure. Sure, Bird of Prey. They're working on your bed. I saw Overlord last night. Maybe Camille studied with the Nazi doctor that experimented with zombies. That could be. But I don't think that Camille is the Nazi type of nurse. I think that, because, you know, keep in mind, Bird of Prey and Camille, just so you know, if you can hear me, Camille, be very, very careful, because he appears to be this meek, mild-mannered, nice guy, but Joe is actually the head of the American Mafia. So I'm just saying, be very, very careful. Thor Fraggle Rock was hilarious. I liked Ragnarok. I thought it was a fun movie. If you want a cat on your head, you should watch Bird's Hair yesterday. Oh, no, I did watch Bird yesterday. And I surgically removed that from his head. There you go. So yeah, that is the top of Bird of Prey's hair. They should get the New Zealand guy back, Rock Dude. Yes, Taika Waititi is his name, Taika Waititi, and he wrote and directed Thor Ragnarok. He did a great job, and yes, he was the voice of I can't remember the name of that character, but yes, and I'm hoping that he comes back for Endgame, because I just want to see him. James Gunn and the guy who did Ragnarok, I know his name, I just can't spell it. Yeah, Taika Waititi. Should do a crossover and make a Thor Guardians movie. I would love to see Thor simply join the Guardians. Like, there's no reason you couldn't have Thor with the Guardians in Guardians 4. Bird of Prey says JP knows of you and your channel. Well, in that case, JP, very cool. We'll have to hang out sometime. But no, and unfortunately, I don't get to watch a lot of YouTube. Which is funny, because I spend so much time on YouTube. But and this is the honest truth. The only live stream I catch with any regularity is Bird of Prey, and so that's just because I can have, usually Bird of Prey streams while I'm working, and I'll put it on in the background and kind of listen to it with one ear while I'm doing my job, and then every now and then I'll throw a comment in and stuff. But I just love Bird of Prey's personality. It's great, and he's a lot of fun. So, but as far as people like you know, there's a lot of good streamers out there. I mean, there's Doomcock, there's Mecha Random, there's Nerdrotic, obviously JP, you know, Midnight's Edge. Yeah, and so there's a lot of good streaming content on YouTube, but the problem is that, at least for when I'm working and stuff, they don't always meld well with what I'm doing. Richie says, great beard, Anti-Trigger, very Klingon, thank you. Takva Takve. I know I just said to be or not to be, but it's like that's what popped into my head. Alex, Dr. Alex, is in the house. Good to see you, Doctor. Donald says, in other words, they had to break out fire hissing. I'm not sure exactly what you mean there, Donald. I think the fishes can become a super chat. 60 seconds of fish. Well, except that we all know what people really want is when it comes out, which it will. It's probably gonna take a little while because the editing on this is going to be a monster. But is Bird of Prey Chat 2, which of course those of you that were here at the very beginning of the stream got a little sample of.
We make love together. We make love together.
And by the way, Camille, that is actually Joe singing in a duet with another guy named Lore Reloaded. So yes, that is absolutely real. So if you let your hair out, you do look like a Klingon. I know, and that's why I genuinely want to find a good-looking Klingon tunic that looks like the original series, but doesn't look like a cheap, $3 Halloween costume. Because then I would wear that and have this down and do like rants as a Klingon. I think that would be fun. Thor has joined Guardians in the comics. Well, yeah, a lot of people joined the Guardians in the comics. Heck, Venom was in the Guardians of the Galaxy for a while in the comics. So I'm perfectly fine with Thor, because I understand that, Thor's had his trilogy of films, and so moving forward, what are they going to do with them? Hey, have him show up at the Guardians, have him show up in the next Avengers film. You can have him pop in every now and then, but he doesn't have to have a bunch of movies of his own. Peter says, you may have missed me saying, Anti-Checker, my mate, my tech is here for live for a change. My mate, my tech, my mate, my tech. Is my tech your mate's name? Because I'm probably butchering it. But hello, good to see you, and I'm sorry that you got stuck with Peter. Bert's number of people watching is skyrocketed when he got the hair, went back down when the hair disappeared. Well, I think that it went back down more because of the singing than the hair disappearing. He loves your work on the shorts. Well, actually, most of the work on the shorts is my son Joshua. Now, the live action shorts, like BIRDOPREY Chat and the Excalibur thing, those I will take full credit for. But the animated stuff is my son Joshua. He does an incredible job with that. And yeah, I can't speak highly enough. I can't wait to see the one he's working on now. I know it was a suggestion from somebody on Discord, but I don't know what it is other than that. And Marlena Monroe is in the house. Good to see you. Admiral Villar says no for some reason. I don't know what I said. The fish look like they're in pain in that super chat. Well, wouldn't you be? I mean, if you were in a confined 55-gallon aquarium and you just constantly heard that music and those lyrics being sung over and over, what would you even do? I mean, come on. Be real. Yeah, let's see. Hector says, I'm sure they are suffering. They absolutely are. Dadgum, autocorrect. Yep. All sentient life suffers with lore and Joe singing. That is true, but the fish suffer the most. I'd be happy if Thor joined the Guardians. I would as well. I think it would be cool. It's Nitek, and it is Polish. Very cool. Well, Nitek, good to see you. He says hi and laughs. All right. Well, I'm sorry if I butchered your name. I know I'm horrible with names that are not classic American names, and so, I mean, talk to poor Luke Fovark, who I was calling Luke Favreau for freaking months. So, yeah. Joshua's job equals joy. Anti-Checker's work equals suffering. Yes, that is unfortunately true. No, actually, I don't hate my job. I shouldn't say that because I don't. And in fact, it's funny because today I have to put in a couple of hours of overtime right after this live stream. I have a meeting to go to for my job. But I definitely do not hate my job. I enjoy it. It's not what I'm passionate about. You know, it's not like this where I can talk about Star Trek and Star Wars and Marvel superheroes and all the stuff that I truly love. But it's a good job. And I can't complain about that because while ultimately my evil schemes include eventually doing YouTube full time, if that's ever a possibility, if I have to work a job, I'm working a good one. So I can't complain about that. Hi, Integer. Glad you're streaming. Stuck at the doctor's office waiting for my mom to finish. I'm sorry, Valor. And yeah, but thank you for taking your mom to the doctor's office because, you know what, not enough people look after their parents these days. And so thank you. And I only say that because I'm getting old. And if my daughter sees this show, damn it, you better consider moving to Tennessee because I'm going to need you to take me to the doctor's office soon, I think. Anti-Tracker, do you know when your next Borg video is coming out? Sorry, you probably get this a lot. I'm just curious. Actually, no, that's okay. I've been so far behind dealing with the stuff with my mother-in-law passing and other personal issues that have just come up, and I've been way, way behind on videos. I am about 2/3 of the way through writing my next Borg video. If things go well, I will release it tomorrow. So that's my goal. And Peter's like, yeah, LOL, Luke. Yeah, I butchered his name for a long time. When does BIRDCHAT 2 premiere? That's going to be a little longer. BIRDCHAT 2, because, I mean, you heard the incredible harmonics of Bird and Lore singing together. It's just so beautiful.
We make love together.
So that's the gold standard by which I have to work. Now, that little 5 seconds of audio took me a couple of hours to match up, because number one, I'm sure you realize BIRDOPREY and Lore Reloaded, both good friends of mine. I'm not knocking either person personally, but both of them have a very, shall we say, unique sense of musical timing. And so they don't quite sing with the beat of the song, and they also don't sing at the same cadence as each other, even though both of them are listening to the song while they're trying to sing it. It's like they have these totally different random speeds and stuff. And so, like, for example, that particular thing, the original song goes, and we'll make love together, right? And but then Bird is like, and we'll make love together. And then BIRDOPREY is like, and we'll make love together, you know. And so I got to sit there and like stretch out some words and condense others and get them to match up, and it comes out to the absolutely beautiful harmonics.
We make love together.
And I got to do that with the whole song, so that's going to take a while. Josh Street says Joshua Animations equals money for Anti-Trekker. True, but it also means money for Joshua too. He gets a percentage of the super chat rewards that when people request his stuff. Alex says, poor Luke. Yeah, I really was mean to Luke. The view screen should play the Wrath of Khan on a loop. Yeah, BIRDOPREY. Sure, as soon as I, you know, yeah, that would be really smart. Nightbreeze throws a buck in there and says, number 10, please. Some Spinneroony Spock. Yes, the best Spock is Spinneroony Spock for sure. Yes, that is in fact the day that Disco died. Thank you, Nightbreeze. I do appreciate the buck because every little bit helps, and I am a greedy son of a... let's discuss hashtag fire gun for real. I'm actually in support of rehiring Gunn. So I know Gunn's jokes and stuff that he posted on Twitter were horrible. I'm not supporting anything that he said as far as that's concerned. However, firing him because of his tasteless humor is wrong. Just like, and I'll say this, firing Roseanne Barr over her personal beliefs would be wrong. And by the way, firing Brie Larson just because she's an SJW would be wrong. Okay? You fire someone because they're not good for the job, not because they tell off-color jokes or they support a political agenda that you do not. Sorry. And Mr. Miles wants SG video before Borg. Sorry, Mr. Miles, but the Borg is coming first, then I'm going to do an SG video. The view screen should play every BIRDOPREY being destroyed from DS9. That's not bad. I like the view screen idea, and one thing that I've considered is as kind of a super chat thing, where maybe like for certain super chats could have things show up on the view screen until someone else does a super chat or something, and I don't know, something like that. Oh no, I've set off Mr. Miles. Oh, everything sets off Mr. Miles. What's SG? SG is Stargate. BIRDOPREY says no. Social gaming sacred goat. What? Social gaming sacred goat. Not sure what you mean there, Hector. All friends here at Anti-Trekker. Well, you've heard me sing. Yes, that's true. But of course, BIRDOPREY and Lore are like the kings of bad singing. So and so I love listening to them because it's just so unique. Bird and Lore are my favorite boy band. Yes, that's the Bird Lores. What? That wasn't music. That was a violent felony. Giza, Geisha. Yeah. BIRDOPREY explained that he did not know the word geisha when he read that, and so that's why he said it like that. I may do a rendition of Live Had the Time of My Life from the Dirty Dancing soundtrack. My God, my ears. I'm going to have to turn down the volume when Laura's super chat comes up since I'm using earbuds. Oh, I'm so sorry. Yes. Alexa, play Down Easter Alexa by Billy Joel. I don't even know that song. This one just gets better and better. Oh, okay. Mercer says, hi there. Hey, Mercer, good to see you. Thomas wants me to check Discord. All right, well, let's see here. What do you got, Thomas? Oh, there we go. Oh, man. That's just wrong. That is just so wrong. Oh. The song you sang on the stream yesterday? Oh, I didn't catch all of it. So I missed that one. Jeep Bleech for BIRDOPREY 5. Jeep Bleech? What is Jeep Bleech? I assume you mean cheap bleach. Oh, that's right, because there's a Jeep in the background. So yes, if you watch carefully, you now know that Lore Reloaded's customer was actually BIRDOPREY 5.
Hey, you want to learn about Jesus?
There's no such thing as hooker-client confidentiality.
Now, how do we know that Lore's last customer was BIRDOPREY? Well, all you gotta do is look behind Lore, and you'll see a Jeep Grand Cherokee parked right there. And guess what? That's where BIRDOPREY 5 just dropped off Lore. He's walking down the street, and then he meets up with his new customer.
Hey, you want to learn about Jesus?
There's no such thing as hooker-client confidentiality.
When are you going to get DJ in a trio with Bird and Lore? I don't know. I gotta get. First of all, I gotta get this one ironed out. Then we gotta figure out a song that we can get Bird and Lore to sing, and then DJ. So I upgraded my CBS All Access so I don't have to have commercials while watching Discovery and Amazon, through which I subscribe to CBS. The lady gave me 2 months. I already got for free. eFund. I'll tell you, I actually, you know, even though I'm not a big fan of CBS and their practices, I pay for the commercial-free version as well. In part, though, because I do live streams while I'm reviewing this stuff, and I don't want to have to sit through commercials while we're streaming. Look, up in the sky, it's a bird of prey. It's a warbird. No, it's the anti-trekker. Pornhub has a gay spin-off. Now, that's what I call equality. Okay. Anti-trekker, or Bird is Lore's pimp. That could be. That could be. That could be how Bird got his start with organized crime, was pimping out Lore. Remember Morton Downey Jr.? Yes. Morton Downey Jr., the man with the big mouth. He was one of the most obnoxious talk show hosts back in the days when Oprah was just one of many daytime talk shows. Of course, there was Phil Donahue. There was Geraldo Rivera. There was, of course, Jerry Springer. And by the way, Jerry Springer started out as a serious show before it turned into a joke. But there was also Morton Downey Jr., who was this loudmouth, obnoxious person, but his show was quite entertaining at times. By the way, Morton Downey Jr. also had was in Predator 2, the one with Donald Glover, as the reporter. I think that I should hire a food taster. BIRDOPREY might kill me. That might not be a bad idea. I would love to see them try to sing Bohemian Rhapsody. Actually, I think Lore did sing Bohemian Rhapsody on that live stream that I recorded. Because of Lore, Anti-Trekker met BIRDOPREY. That's... I don't know. Well, BIRDOPREY, were you a subscriber of Lore before you came over to my channel and stuff? I don't know. I can resting The Saga Begins without the music. That's another one that we could probably do. That would be a good duet, I think. Morton Downey Jr. sounds like he became Iron Man. Yeah, yeah, wrong Downey Jr., but yes. He actually called his guest Loudmouth. That's true. What are you implying, Josh? Not sure. I deleted the fake trailer and screenshot from Facebook. I shared it all the relevant places too. Oops, yeah, you want to be careful of that. What do you think about the new Hellboy reboot? I will tell you. The first trailer for it, I was like, okay, it looks all right. The Red Band trailer, oh heck yeah, I am in. That whole thing at the end, one of the best F-bombs in the history of trailers, in my opinion. And I am not, you know, I'm not the kind of person that just like, yeah, profanity, but when it's well done, oh yeah. You did find me from lore. I didn't know that, Bird, but you know, I'm sorry. So you know, there. I'll just say it. I'm sorry if you subscribe to lore. All right, let me see here. Bear with me just a second here. Okay, so let's look at the Red Band trailer for Hellboy. Is this the one that I want? All right. So, yes, this trailer, I'm going to bring it up here on the screen, and I'm just going to show a few seconds of it. But yes, number 13, Bird dropped off, Lore off, and Lore tried to pick up anti-checkers. Extra. No.
But this is not gonna work, you know, because I'm a Capricorn and you're fucking nuts!
That is like the best use of the F word ever in a trailer. So I am definitely down for the new Hellboy film. I can't wait to see it. Someone should edit the new Bohemian Rhapsody with Lore. Oh man, that would be actually that would be fun. Let's see. Why did Bohemian Rhapsody win best editing? I saw a breakdown of that one scene that were cut over 2 seconds. Is bad eye lines. I don't know. I didn't see Bohemian Rhapsody. Joshua saw it, said it was really good, but I haven't seen it. Why did Bohemian... let's see. I just read that. 5 degrees to Lore Reloaded. Found Lore through Trek Yards. Found Anti-Trekker, Mecha Random, Doomcock, and Midnight's Edge, who knew Lore was so well connected. Well, Lore, I will say this. Lore is really, really good about this. And this is where he absolutely owns it, is he is so good at reaching out to and contacting various YouTubers. And so, yes, he does a great job with that. And I mean, he's got connections with Eckert's Ladder and all these other guys as well. And so, yeah, my hat's off to him for that. I suck at that. I truly suck at that. Where I'm good at is on the more personal level with you guys, right? And so I feel like we have a really strong community on this channel. But unfortunately, it's more profitable for your channel to be connected with people that have tens of thousands of subscribers. But then again, that wouldn't be me. Let's see. I found Trek Yards first, then Lore, then Anti-Trekker. Well, and Trek Yards, by the way, you know, they've gotten some flack over some of their stuff with Discovery, but Trek Yards are good people, man. Commander Cockings and Captain Foley are really good people. I have been, and I've been neglectful. I need to reach back out to Commander Cockings because we haven't talked in a little bit, but Commander Cockings and I are going to probably have a side conversation about his short film. If you haven't seen it, Commander Cockings put out a 2-part short film, which is an interesting story concept where various ships from different periods of Federation history with only one crew member on each find themselves stuck in an anomaly. And I think that's the name. I think the name of the short is Temporal Anomaly. One of my TNG guilty pleasures is Homeward. In season 7, we meet Worf's foster brother, and he beams a primitive village to the holodeck. Dan, there's a lot of TNG that I barely remember because I just haven't watched since it originally aired, but that's probably one of them because I don't remember that one very well. It sounds vaguely familiar, but not well enough for me to say anything about. Trekyards is severely underrated. I saw Temporal Anomaly and it was good, and it was cool. I think that, and I'm going to be brutally honest when I talk to Commander Cockings about it. I think that there are elements of it that are really good and original, and I think that there is some stuff that needs a little work. Whoa, Anti-Checker, a new camera. Looks great. Thank you, Gary. Yes. So, new camera. The green screen obviously is new. I'm still working on the touches for that. You can kind of see where, like over here, where the material's not quite stretched out right. But yeah, working on making things better around here. John throws $10 into the chat. Thank you so much. Lore is a gateway nerd. Yes, and wants quantum. So prepare for the suffering of quantum of the Force.
I may have a shit. It's not clean. Repeat, I do not have a clean shit. Take the bloody shit.
Ah, yes. Quantum of the Force. Valor says, to be honest, I'm glad I found Anti-Tricker. I enjoy your content. Thank you. You don't have to, trust me, you don't have to kiss up to me, though. I truly do appreciate whenever you guys say how much you enjoy it. But I'm here for you guys, man. So I enjoy you. So that's why I'm here. That and money. And the holodeck malfunction. Well, that's never a good thing. Found ship porn Trekyards. First seen Anti-Trekker video in the videos on the side, but Laura's video played first. I'll tell you, if you like ship porn, that is what Trekyards could. In fact, especially, you know, Captain Foley has that creepy porn producer look. Anyway, they should change the name of their channel to like Ship Porn Producers or something. Let's see. Avalon is superb too. I don't know Avalon. Such sweet suffering. Mira Dax and Mira Kira in the latex cat suit, hot. Well, I don't know. The Dax I would take over Kira, but yeah. Forgive me, I'm new here. Why do you call yourself the anti-trekker? Richie, that's a question that a lot of people have asked, and I have made it very, very clear. Here's the official response to that, and I'm sure somebody probably already typed it into the chat. I have every intention on doing a full video on exactly that subject once I reach 10,000 subs. That's going to be my 10,000 sub video, is why do I call myself the anti-trekker? It is actually, I do have some very specific reasoning behind it. So, and it looks like the stream is kind of messing up here. Let me know if you guys are having trouble with the stream as well. Too bad cocking, let's see, Temporal Anomaly had some issues, but I mainly cut along them down to being a low-budget fan film or just oversight, but overall enjoyed it. Yeah, I'm not saying for a fan film it's pretty good, but when I talk to Cockings, I'm not going to pull punches. I'm going to talk about it as if it was a film, and so I'm going to criticize it as such. I can't say, well, it's just a fan film, because then you start saying, well, this superhero film, it wasn't that good, but it wasn't a Marvel film. No, you got to judge things as they are. Too bad Cockings couldn't have better graphics, but I did like his short. However, Foley should have been the insane one. That would have been, yes, Foley could have been the insane captain. That would have been awesome. Mercer throws a couple of bucks in, says Paul Servino equals Worf's foster bro. Dr. Finn is in it too. I did not know that, but thank you for the info dump there, Mercer. I do appreciate it. And by the way, don't forget to tell me if you want a super chat. Wow, I dipped back in at the wrong time. Sorry, Doctor. Tiki of Doom says, so good. If you're talking about Lord dancing, then you need psychological help. He looks so happy dancing nude with a gun. Yes, he really does. I think that's truly his element. Oh my, I can't unsee that. Yes, everybody who's a long-term subscriber to this channel must be able to endure MEGGACHAT number 1. This quantum reward is indeed rewarding. Looking at lore made me go on a diet. I lost 50 pounds. Awesome! That is truly awesome. If you lost 50 pounds, I'm very proud of you. I'm working on it, but man, it's slow going. I disagree with Anti-Trigger a lot, but I still enjoy your content. Hey, that's okay. We don't have to agree. We just have to not, it's okay to be completely opposites on various issues as long as we're not dicks to each other over it. And that's where I have a problem with some people, and I'm not pointing fingers at anybody, but there are some people that are out there on both sides of these things. We all know about like how some of the studios are saying, oh, these fans are a bunch of racists or misogynists or whatever. That's wrong, right? You could say, I disagree. I think the Last Jedi was the best movie ever, which you'd be wrong to say, but you can say that as long as you're not attacking personally the people that didn't like it just because you disagree with them. That's where I draw a line. Josh says, why not have an animation of Joshua in a TOS uniform handing you a cup of Joe and mumbling, I'll get your fans for making me suffer for making UBERCHAT number 6. You know what, Josh, send that idea to Scarved Insect on the Discord server, and because that's what you want to do. If you got a great idea for an animation, send it to Joshua. Don't send it to me. Well, great. I just got an odd look from an old woman who said, what the F, as she walked by while this was playing. Yes, we have that effect on people. Anti-Discovery, so the anti-trekker. No, that's... although, I will say this, the Discovery, my anger with Discovery was what inspired me to start this channel. I started this channel in October of 2017, which is right when Discovery premiered. Kira was never really sexy. Not in my opinion, no. He will tell us 10K subscribers, $1 million, whichever comes first. That's true, too. $1 million, and I will do the video tomorrow. You know I will always get the one where crap explodes from Ryan. Yeah, well, that's true. You always love that. So let's take a look at... Man, I can't find anything today. Come on. Come on. Stupid computer. This is the exciting part where I'm waiting for... Oh, there we go. Yeah, oh! Yeah. That's, so this, for those of you that don't know, is Rian Johnson, the man who single-handedly destroyed the Star Wars franchise. And you know, it really makes me wonder, how is JJ going to salvage Star Wars Episode 9. I mean, we haven't seen anything on Star Wars Episode 9 yet. And I am genuinely curious to see if JJ can pull a rabbit out of his hat and make Episode 9 work. There we go. Did the anti-Trekker name come about because of the way new Trek side while TOS, TNG, TMV, and politically No, I'm not going into that, Captain Jesse. You will find out when I hit 10,000 subs. Always get the one coming where Rian Johnson has your logo coming out of his round. I always get the one where Rian Johnson has your logo coming out of his round head. Well, yeah, that's why I played it. Admiral says Steve. Not sure where that came from. What 3D printer would you recommend? I have mine on 3D ship models I'd like to make. Actually, I'm still learning about some of the stuff because there's different types of 3D printers. And to make intricate 3D models like ships, you really want a resin-based printer, which I don't have right now. And I'm going to, once I get things back in order around here, I'm going to continue printing with this stuff, but I'm going to also save up for a resin printer so you can make some really good stuff. Admiral now says, John Campia. Why are you putting Steve and John Campia into the chat? I don't know. I find your reviews to be the most thought out and fair when compared to others. Well, thank you, Robert. I try to be as fair as I can. It's tough because, you know, I do nitpick the crap out of stuff, but at the same time, I nitpick the crap out of everything. So I think that I am fair with that. This is why I'm grateful you and I agree on Captain Marvel, because I like The Last Jedi, Dodge's assassination attempt. Well, but that's the thing. It's okay. If you like The Last Jedi, you are certainly entitled to. I didn't like it, and there are differing factors. Like some people, like maybe because of, I don't know how old you are, maybe there's a big age difference, and because I have more attachment to the classic Star Wars, whereas people that grew up with the prequels, or people that are even younger, and this is their first entry into the Star Wars universe, they don't see the blasphemy that is what they did to Luke Skywalker. Let's see. I am with you, Mr. Anti-Trekker. You don't have to call me Mr. Anti-Trekker. I'm just a turd like anyone else. That's what me poo means, by the way. And I have different opinions on Discovery Hour. I love the way he approaches it. Well, thank you. Now Peter's saying old woman. Wow, Peter, you were just not sure what you're doing. I must have found you shortly after you started then. Anti-Trekker, maybe a month or two after. Yeah. What happened was, what really got this channel moving was when I did my Last Jedi review in December of 2017. That's when the channel started to take off. Remind me, what's the difference between a Trekker and a Trekkie again? That's a tough one. It depends on who you're talking to. Generally speaking, I look at it this way. A Trekkie is a person who is just a fan of Trek as far as the stories, the characters, the adventure, all that. People who call themselves Trekkers are more into the deeper aspects of Trek. Gene Roddenberry's vision, if you will. And so that's really the core difference. And I'll get into that probably in the future. Not single-handedly, he did have Kathleen Kennedy. Fair enough. But Kathleen Kennedy didn't, like, because with The Force Awakens, Star Wars wasn't ruined. Rey was a Mary Sue, to be sure, but that could have been fixed. But instead, they completely butchered it. Kira's sexiest moment was the first time Cisco met Kira telling off the Bajoran government person in the captain's waiting room. I never really considered Kira having a sexy moment, but that's just my personal taste. Jar Jar Abrams will open all of his empty mystery boxes, and while the audience still is in shocked disgust, throw a smoke bomb at the ground and run away. Richie says, I'm a TOS Trekkie. I always disagree with the Trekker rebranding attempt in the late 70s. In that sense, I am the anti-Trekker. I was a TOS Trekkie as well. And I also didn't particularly care for the attempted rebranding to Trekker. I think that every Star Trek fan has designed their own starship. There's definitely a lot of them that have. Mercer throws another $2 in and says, favorite Sesame Street character? Mine is the Count. One cup of coffee. Yes, the Count is a good one. Gosh, favorite Sesame Street character? I like the Count, but I'm going to probably have to go with Oscar the Grouch. I always wanted, because Oscar had that mysterious TARDIS-like trash can that he lived in, and I always imagined that late at night, when little children would walk up and down Sesame Street, Oscar would grab them and drag them into his garbage can and then eat them. And Les, I don't know if that's just wrong, isn't it? Marlena is, man, I'm so far behind on the chat. Marlena's agreeing on the TOS Trekkie. Alex says, yes, well, the well thought out and fair-minded commentary is what caught me too. Wow, that's high praise from an Englishman with a stick up his butt. And that's not an insult to an Englishman, by the way. English people pride themselves in the size and depth that a stick can be put up their butts. A big age difference could make a joke, but won't. Well, yeah. People have to call me Mr. though. Well, that's because Mr. is in your username. I am more attached to the originals, but I still like the sequels. I don't know. I just enjoyed them. Fair enough. Would Star Trek Discovery fit in the Star Wars universe or Stargate universe or even Expanse universe or even Alien universe better than Star Trek? Yes, maybe, no, and no. That's my answer to that. So yes, it would fit better in Star Wars. It could fit better in Stargate, but I don't know. I haven't seen where Stargate really ultimately ends up. I'm still in season 6 of SG-1. The Expanse and Alien, definitely not. The technology in Star Trek is definitely not compatible with anything we've seen in The Expanse or Alien. Now, The Expanse has those like cool little smartphone things, which are cool, but if you look at the overall tech level, you know, Discovery is way, way beyond that. Peter says, yeah, The Last Jedi review. Yes. That was a big video for me. I like The Last Jedi, but I think that it is more because Star Wars is something my son and I bond over. So I think it's more because my son and I shared the experience. That could be, Robert, and that's perfectly legit. You know, a lot of people have, for example, my earliest childhood memory, I was 1 year old at the time, was watching the first man walk on the moon. And I remember, and that was like a moment of bonding with me and my dad. I was sitting, you know, I was literally a baby. I was sitting in his lap. We were watching it and all that. And now I fondly remember that. But Trekkie was indeed first. That is true. My sci-fi Star Trek loving sister told me she likes Discovery. Time to disown her, I guess. Well, I wouldn't disown her, but I would be very cautious about inviting her over. Got to meet Q yesterday. Yeah, you mentioned that. So you got to meet John DeLance. That is very cool. I would love to get a chance to meet him. Did you actually finish your Borg series? I'm having a blast watching it. Not yet, Joseph. The next chapter should be out tomorrow, if all goes well. Trekkie is original. Oh, and then let's see. Trekker is a rebranding attempt that failed. Well, failed is an interesting term because a lot of people call themselves Trekkers to this day. So I wouldn't necessarily say it failed, but it's kind of been divisive. Why doesn't YouTube tell me when I first subbed? I don't know, Thomas. It should, but yeah, it doesn't. Also, TOS Trekkie 2 in that case. Oh, sorry. Also, TOS Trekkie 2 in that case. So Dr. Alex is also a TOS Trekkie. I grew up on TNG, Voyager, and DS9. Well, that explains a lot about you, Mr. Miles. I was Oscar the Grouch for Halloween when I was young. Very cool, Thomas. Then I had Enterprise in my late teens. Boy, Mr. Miles, stop telling me about how young you are, you jerk. As an Englishman, I can confirm that the stick theory is true. I knew it was! See? Peter says, I've never had that stick. Well, that's the problem right there. BIRDOPREY says, my custom starship is a Klingon BIRDOPREY with the interiors replaced with a ship-wide holodeck. Okay, well, if you say so. Count, anti-checker, watching Star Trek Discovery, haha. 2 shots, 3 shots, 4 shots. Yeah, that. Mr. Miles retracted something. He probably said something horribly offensive. BIRDOPREY, notice anti-truckers stole being on a bridge background. Well, except that this is my bridge. I was actually, you know, I could be like, you know, giving orders and stuff, and I actually considered using footage from the original series where you know how it's like Sulu is sitting there at the console and he goes. I thought that would be fun, but I couldn't quite make it stretch out to where he didn't just do that every few seconds, which would kind of be weird. How far are you on SG-1 anyway? I'm in Season 6. I will tell you this. Season 6, you can definitely see the drop in budget, but it's still pretty good. Let's see. What? I've been rewatching SG-1 and I just got to the season. Yeah, I haven't gotten to the Season 6 finale. The one we just recently watched was one where the Tok'ra and the Jaffa were on a planet together being killed by a assassin that had a cloaking device. You remember something a 1-year-old? Yes, Richie, but that is the only thing I remember from that far back. Business is good today. I have over 20 orders to ship today. Very cool, Mercer. That is good. I assume. And Trekker, to me, Trekkers are Trek fans that don't dress up and such. Trekkies are people that learn Klingon, Vulcan, dress up, and so on. Not necessarily. Trekkers and Trekkies both get very much into that the nerd culture. But I think the real difference is one cares more about the lore, the other cares more about the political side of it. So, for example, Steve Shives would probably be more of a Trekker than me. I would lean more towards Trekkie. Star Trek Discovery would certainly story-wise and Trek-wise would fit into the Blade Runner. Story-wise, I could see it fitting into Blade Runner, but technology-wise, it's way too advanced. But yeah, true story. My friend never watched Star Trek, then watched Discovery when it came out, and immediately binged TOS, and now into Star Trek. That's interesting, especially considering how bad Discovery is and stuff. Mercer is getting space sick. Sorry to hear that. But you can see, if you've been paying attention, this galaxy is a whole lot closer than it was at the beginning of the stream. It is very slowly moving towards us, or well, we're moving towards it. So I think that's, I like this, using this as a backdrop, and I can keep track of how far I am into the live stream based on the position of the galaxy. Ryan says, in Star Trek Discovery, I'm betting that Burnham is the Red Angel. Oh, absolutely. And she saves the universe. By Season 3, she'll become a literal god praised by all. I don't know about the literal god thing, but I do think she is the Red Angel. Are you on board with Jonah as a character? On SG-1? He's all right. I think he's a pale replacement for Daniel Jackson, but I don't hate him. I'm wondering if and when Daniel Jackson will permanently come back. I mean, he had the guest spot where he obviously can drop in now from his ascended state, but we'll see what happens. What is better, the squid technology from Strange Days where you can relive someone's experiences, or the holodeck? I would say the holodeck. The anti-Trekker invasion will start soon. Well, we got to get to that galaxy. How would you modernize the TOS Starfleet ship while keeping the look as much as possible? Funny you should ask. Let me show something here. Let's see.
Look out.
Sorry, that was a stupid ad playing. Bear with me just a minute here while I'm bringing up the answer to your question. So, obviously this is footage from In a Mirror Darkly from Enterprise, and here's the, okay, so that's, skip ahead. Alright, you tell me, why do you need to change that? Look at that. That's freaking awesome. Look at that. Why is this not what we're seeing on Discovery? There is absolutely nothing wrong with this. However, if you insist on modernizing it, that's fine. So, for example, where Hoshi's sitting, if you want to replace the jelly bean buttons, as people call it, to you know, more modern buttons and stuff, I'm fine with that. But yeah, this doesn't look bad. People get this, and Kurtzman is the biggest offender on this, where he's saying that, oh, we couldn't possibly just use the original design because people would say it's not worth the money. Wrong! This is a fan favorite episode. Most people that like Enterprise, and even people that don't like Enterprise, think this was Enterprise at its best. And I mean, this was awesome. The way that they recreated the look and feel of the original sets was beautifully done. And it looks, there's nothing wrong with it. And now notice that it is lit differently than we light the original series. There's more shadows. Like, look at Archer's face. It's definitely darker, so it highlights the view screen, or the control panels. There Hoshi's sitting. Also, the camera movements are modern. Right? You never had tracking shots like this because they didn't have motion control cameras back then. So there is absolutely no reason why. I mean, see, like this tracking shot, you couldn't do that in the original series. However, so you take sets that are accurate to the original series and you simply film them using modern techniques, and bam, you've got an awesome looking show. And so there is no reason to change it, period. There really isn't. All you do is you build the sets as they were designed, you light them creatively, you shoot them creatively, and you will make it awesome. And Admiral says it's not 25% different. Yeah, but that 25% different thing is a complete and utter lie. Alex says, oh yes, Amtrak, that reminds me, any chance for TOS era USS Crawford docking anytime soon? Can't wait to get my vintage Enterprise. I'm still working on it. I was talking about that a little bit ago, Dr. Alex, and because of all the personal crap I've been dealing with, like with mother-in-law and stuff like that, I know the printing stuff has been sitting here, not doing anything. I'm going to get that going again, but I do have some work to do before I can, and I appreciate your guys' patience with me, and I know that some of you guys have been very, very, very patient with me, but I'm going to get back into that as soon as I can. Just use fan film sets. Absolutely, there's some perfectly good sets that some of the fan films have created that are awesome. Bear in mind, Atlantis Season 1 starts and runs concurrently with SG-1 Season 8. I do know that, and so when we get there, I'm going to have to alternate between the two. Hoshi hotter than Tilly. Tilly would look awful in that half-shirt mirror uniform. That is very true. 25% difference was for the movies, not for the CBS. They own Trek. Yeah, CBS straight up owns Star Trek. There's no need for a 25% difference. Alex says, oh yes, let's see, I've already read that. I'm sorry, I'm so far behind on here. Empress Sato, better than Captain Killy, definitely. Why couldn't they beam Robot Chick out of Section 31 HQ instead of sending her out the airlock? I said that while I was watching it, and I also said, if you wanted to argue, because I'm sure some people make the argument that because of the shielding, that's a prison facility, maybe they couldn't get a scan or a lock on her, but the second she's out the airlock door, you could beam her on. My earliest memory was me sitting down with my chicken to watch this stream. Mercer, that is the most bizarre thing I think I've ever heard. They need to take non-stationary cameras from STD. They've gone too far with the wibbly-wobbly spinning crap. Oh yeah, and that's the problem, is that like the camera movement in STD is horrible because there's so many times when they're like purposely trying to make when like the rotating camera around the group, that kind of thing is pointless given the type of scene. I mean, it's just three people standing around having a conversation. We don't need action-packed camera motion. You could have a very subtle camera shift. You should use moving cameras to make it feel more organic. That's because if you just lock the camera down on a tripod, it feels very, very static. And that's what they had to do back in the 60s because they just didn't have the technology they have today. But now, because they have the technology, they feel like they have to push it to the extreme and have the camera upside down and flip over and come up behind them. And no, just relax. Mr. Miles says, Andy Tricker, out of all the callbacks to TOS from TNG, Voyager, DS9, Enterprise, who's your favorite? The callbacks to TOS would be, my favorite would be Enterprise with In a Mirror Darkly. Second callback to TOS would be Trials and Tribulations. Really like that one. Mirror Mirror was Star Trek doing fan service at its best. Well, Mirror Mirror wasn't really fan service. Mirror Mirror was an original idea at the time. Loved the movie Willow with Val Kilmer. Good stuff. Kept calling him Peck, Ethan Peck, Spock. Yes. In fact, me and Mrs. Antrecker watched Willow just last week together. And it is still holds up fairly well. The visual effects are not as good as, you know, for what they are. But it's a fun movie. And yes, Val Kilmer was really good. I like the look of TOS. If anything, just tweak the computer consoles for a slightly modern twist, but keep the TOS feeling. Agreed. They claim 25%, but they use footage from the cage. Yeah, that was a joke. Do not give Alex Kurtzman any ideas to put Tilly in the Mirror Universe half Starfleet's top shirt and a miniskirt. Josh says In a Mirror Darkly. Yes, I agree with you there. The one who invented the shaky cam should be executed. Yeah, the shaky, like they used a lot of shaky cam in that last episode, and I do. The funny thing is if it's done well, it can enhance something. So, for example, they used and what they refer to as a handheld, right? Non-stabilized camera. So you literally just have the cameraman with the camera on his shoulder, and he's moving the camera around. And because of that, keep in mind, no human being is capable of holding perfectly still like a machine can. So that's why if it's a handheld camera thing or like a documentary, the camera always wobbles just a little bit. And if done right, that can be a great enhancement to something like they did in BSG 2004, where it was almost entirely shot handheld. However, when it's done to a ridiculous level where they're like, oh yeah, hey, how's it going? You know, and everything's just constantly moving. And like if you've seen any behind the scenes footage of J.J. Abrams when he shot Star Trek 2009, they actually had the camera mounted to a Steadicam, which is a stabilization thing so that the camera movement is very smooth and fluid. And JJ, while directing the film, is behind the camera whacking it around and stuff to make it wobble. And that's just stupid. Let's see. I went to the destination event in October, got a picture of the captain on the TNG bridge. Now, I didn't like the TNG bridge, but it's nice in the moment. I could definitely see that. They had a very cinematic camera move for Yellow Alert. Not even a red alert, a yellow alert. Yeah. Oh gosh, I hate the camera movement in Star Trek Discovery. Yeah, you and me both. They overdo it for sure. Side note, in TOS, I'm pretty sure Kirk makes mention of the Discovery. Can anyone confirm this? I don't know of any reference to the Discovery from TOS, but there is a way to check, because I happen to have this wonderful database that I access where you can search for any word or phrase spoken by any character from any Star Trek. So we'll go to the original series and the animated series. The word is Discovery. All right. So there are 77 results for the word Discovery. So let's take a look here. Yeah, due to the discovery of underground ruins. I mean, let's just do this. We'll just put in the word so it's easier to find it. All right, so discovery of underground ruins. Let's see. Made an astonishing discovery. Okay, here we go. This is it. Squire of Gothos. This is it. You're right. We found it here. Squire of Gothos on the bridge. Inconceivable. The body has gone unnoticed for our records. And yet here it is. So it's right at the beginning of the episode. I am going to pull it up so that we can actually witness the TOS Discovery connection. Bear with me, guys. This is exciting. Breaking news that the Discovery canon predates the Discovery show. The galaxy is coming right at us! Yeah, grab your guns. Let's see. We're going to entertain yourselves for a minute while I'm bringing this up. That shouldn't say that because BIRDOPREY will do something really disgusting. And let's see. Movies. Science fiction, Star Trek, and let's see. And bear with me, guys. Entertain ourselves. Okay, circle up. Wow, that's just getting weird. Alright. And let's move forward a little bit.
We're 900 light years from that kind of desert bone.
The precise meaning of the word.
Can you verify that, Navigator?
No, sir. Forward sweeps are negative. Wait, verified, sir. It must be in some sort of light warp, or we would have picked it up earlier.
Put it on visual.
Alright, here we go. So, this is from the episode The Squire of Gothos. They found the planet that Trelane is on, and he brings it up on the view screen. Now, this is kind of meta. My view screen, their view screen, and then Gothos. Alex is sighing and unzipping pants. That's just kind of weird.
Iron silica body, planet size, magnitude 1E. We'll be passing close.
Inconceivable this body has gone unnoted on all our records.
And yet, here it is.
Okay, listen.
No time to investigate. Science stations gather data for computer banks. Uhura, notify the Discovery on subspace radio.
Strong interference on subspace, Captain.
Bam! Uhura, notify the Discovery on subspace radio. So we now have absolute proof that the Discovery did indeed exist in TOS. So very well done. Wow. I got to use that clip for a super chat now. It's like, so mind blown, right? That's like, that's one that I was not expecting to see. So BIRDOPREY says having a pee break. Oh, you're saying Jeff is so the interstellar type black hole illusion over Talos 4 in the episode. I like the interstellar style black hole illusion over Talos 4 in Memory Search. I did too. That was actually, I mean, for any of us that have watched Star Trek at all, it was, you know, we knew that it was an illusion the second it was there, but it was a really cool one. And so, yeah, I'm with you there. You know what? That galaxy is starting to annoy me. Let me see here and go to layout and flip. There we go. That's better. I like being able to see the actual galaxy there. The TOS Discovery is the same Discovery in STD. Well, we don't know for sure. We just know that Kirk does make a reference to the Discovery. But does this Discovery spin? Well, that we don't know. Had to pause for a couple minutes playing at 1.5 speeds. Well, in that case, Bird, I hope you're having fun. All right. I was saying, Anti-Tracker, I've been told that I should cosplay as Mad Mardigan from Willow in the Dress. That that would be a fun cosplay, actually, yes. Don't let STD on this. They will really, really run away with Revelation. They will. I could see them doing an episode where they get an incoming transmission from Kirk, and then they cut to that scene right there. The galaxy is in Orion's belt. Indeed it is. Discovery is canon. Yeah. Why would he transmit anything to the Discovery? Well, I'd have to go back and rewatch it, and I don't want to. I'd get a DMCA if I watched enough to really get the context of it. Let's look at the script and see if I can put it together here. So this is from the Squire of Gothos. So I'm bringing up the actual script for the Squire of Gothos. Now let's find the term. Okay. So this is the opening sequence. So a yeoman is distributing coffee when McCoy arrives. You want me to do the voices? DeSalle says, all clear, Captain. The sensors indicate 0 register. Kirk says, forward readings, Mr. Spock. Gravimetric readings, no significant change. 0 space density. Ahead, warp factor 3. Mr. Sulu, colony Beta 6 wants their supplies. Let's get across this void in a hurry. Void! Star desert! The word conjures up pictures of dunes, oases, mirages. Sunlight, palm trees. We're 900 light years from that kind of desert, Bones. The precise meaning of the word desert is a waterless, barren wasteland. I fail to understand your romantic nostalgia for such a place. That doesn't surprise me, Mr. Spock. I can imagine a mirage ever disturbing those mathematically perfect brainwaves of yours. Thank you, Dr. McCoy. Moving on schedule into Quadrant 904. Beta 6 is 8 days distance. Something, Mr. Spock? Unusual, Captain. Now getting a sizable space displacement reading. Can you verify that, Navigator? No, sir. Forward sweeps are negative. Wait. Verified, sir. We must be in some sort of light warp or we would have picked it up earlier. Put it on visual. Iron silica body, planet size, magnitude 1E. We'll be passing close. Inconceivable that this body has gone unnoted in all our records. And yet, there it is. No time to investigate. Science stations, gather data for the computer banks. Uhura notified the discovery on subspace radio. I can't do Uhura's voice. I'm not going to even try to stop there. So that's the entire scene in context. That's the opening scene to this episode. And you do a better McCoy than the guy in the JJ. First of all, I really liked... oh gosh, now I can't believe I'm forgetting his name because I love the guy. You know, the guy that played McCoy in the JJ films. I liked him. But anyway, CBS will claim you for reading the script. I would not doubt it. But that would actually be a fun thing to do sometime, would be to just watch the episode but redub the voice. Carl Urban, thank you. Yeah, but to redub all the voices. But anyway, so there's no reference to Discovery in this episode except for that one line. So for what so Kirk is, or because they found this planetary body, but they're not going to have time to investigate, because he says, and yet here it is, no time to investigate. Science stations gather data on the computer banks. Uhura notified the Discovery. Now, that line would indicate that the Discovery is a science vessel that would then be able to investigate this planetary body. And that's why they would want to notify them. That would make sense. And that would actually fit with the Discovery from Star Trek Discovery. If only the tech and design fit into the TOS universe, that would actually make it fit perfectly. When I think of Discovery, I think of 2001: A Space Odyssey and the sequel. Yeah, that Discovery, though, the Discovery 1, was a completely different type of ship, of course. Carl Urban should have a spin-off show. Check out E.C. Henry for the pitch. Did E.C. Henry suggest that Carl Urban should have his own show? The discovery of the object... Oh, yeah, I think... Well, no, notify the Discovery on some... Because he didn't say notify Starfleet of the Discovery. He said notify the Discovery. That was a good call-out, but I think you're wrong, Mr. Trent, because if Kirk had said notify Starfleet of the Discovery, then I could see that. But he says notify the Discovery as if he's trying to notify the ship, the Discovery, of what's going on. And granted, that may not be the original intent of the line. It might have been, as you suggest, that he was just saying to notify Starfleet of the discovery of this planet. However, I think it fits nicely. So I'm looking through the rest of the Discovery, a ship, a station, a communication relay probe. It could be anything. Yes, that's true. So I'm looking through the rest of the references, because there's about 70 references to the word Discovery in the original series, but most of them so far, like here's Star Trek V, the Discovery of Shakari. And let's see. Discovery of an antidote, scientific discovery, I toast our discovery. All our discovery will be Data's startling discovery. Why is it in TNG? I didn't ask for, I just asked for the original series. Data's discovery, your discovery, it'll be a discovery of extraordinary. 4 discovery, disturbing discovery, 2 to discovery, I made a discovery, profound discovery, another profound discovery within the discovery wormhole, discovery of the wormhole, discovery of the wormhole. He himself killed to prevent the discovery. Alexa, talking to Sean Connery accent. Anything else in that episode? No, that's the only reference to it. And so I'm looking for, there's no real mention, at least I'm pretty sure, I'm about 3/4 of the way through the list of every reference to the word discovery in Star Trek. And so far, that's the only one that could be construed as being a specific ship. What if you search for the USS Discovery? Well, then I would probably come up with nothing. But let me see. Any word of my discovery is already traveling. However, the light of my discovery. Yeah, let's see. The captain of your let's see. Inform the captain of your discovery. This could be the most important discovery of all time. Let's see. Since the discovery of this wormhole, on your discovery, unsettling discovery, unexpected discovery, and unexpected discovery. You're excited by this discovery. Have you informed anyone else of your discovery? Alexa, enable HAL 3000. Why might I say that, Peter? A very interesting discovery. Let's see. Not exactly the problem. Where is the mistaken identity? The discovery is suddenly reversal, making a mistaken identity with somebody else discovering, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Unfortunate discovery, significant discovery, scientific discovery, important discovery. Word has already spread of the discovery. Yeah, so that is the only reference in all of Trek to the word discovery that sounds like it could be referring to the USS Discovery. And granted, I think you're probably right in that, there is definitely no reference directly to the USS Discovery. Geek Factor, LMAO, good F-bomb, perfect usage. Geek Factor, you must be like way behind in the stream if you're watching. That was from the Hellboy trailer, but yes, absolutely, that was the best use of the F-bomb in a trailer, period. You need to make a video on Kirk and Discovery. Could be interesting to dive into. Yeah, I think, well, that could be the one thing, if you want to argue, it's a headcanon moment, but that could go either way. I mean, let's look at the scene one more time. Let me bring up the video player here. And you guys be the judge here. Is he talking about a ship or talking about the discovery of the planet?
And yet, here it is. No time to investigate. Science stations gather data for computer banks. Uhura, notify the discovery on subspace radio.
I mean, I'm telling you, the way that he says that, Uhura, notify the discovery on subspace radio. It sounds like he's referring to a ship. Deleted scene. Uhura, Captain, I'm unable to reach the Discovery. Spock, long-range sensors indicate the Discovery has been destroyed. That would be nice. And it does feel, to me, it feels like it's a ship, because if he was talking about the discovery of the planet, it seems like you would say, if you were given that same order, it'd be like, Uhura, I would either say, Uhura, notify Star, because what you normally do, and this is proper radio etiquette for the military, and I know this is before they started saying Starfleet was not the military. Proper etiquette would always be to say who you are contacting and then what you are telling them. Right? So, for example, you would say, Uhura, contact Starfleet and inform them of the discovery of this planet. But that's not what he says.
Stations gather data for computer banks. Uhura, notify the Discovery on subspace radio.
So, unfortunately, it's only half of an order there. So either that anti-tracker or he didn't say his line properly and they left it in. That, well, of course, that's happened on Star Trek before. So, yes. And so it could definitely go either way. Kirk, Spock, that planet has a red angelic look to it, wouldn't you say? Notify the Discovery. Do starships have trouble navigating in black ice conditions? Well, they definitely have trouble navigating in black star conditions, which would be nothing like that, but that's the closest I could cut to. Notify the Discovery. Have Mikey Spock on standby to beam up Trelane in case we fail. Yes. Today, Anti-Trekker proves Kirk was a terrible captain. I'm not proving that Kirk was a terrible captain. I'm saying that obviously that you can interpret that either way. However, it does, I mean, it seems like I would guess that the original intent of this scene was for Kirk to say, notify Starfleet of the Discovery, which is what he should have said. Notify, you know, or raise Starfleet or hail Starfleet and inform them of the Discovery, right? That would make more sense if he said it like that. However, for him to say, notify the Discovery on subspace radio...
Science stations gather data for computer banks. Uhura, notify the Discovery on subspace radio.
That just sounds like he's saying to notify the ship, the Discovery. Mercer says, Anson Mount... By the way, you got to turn off your caps lock, Mercer. Anson Mount will be in Philly next month. Very cool. I would love to meet Anson Mount. He is, to me, the one person that could... Well, he and Ethan Peck are the ones that could possibly save Star Trek Discovery. Too late. It's in my head canon now. The Discovery was in TOS. What does he say? Well, that's the thing. Next on that episode has not... Uhura just mentions that there's subspace interference. So if we
Strong
continue...
interference on subspace, Captain. Planet must be a natural radio source.
Let's get out of its range. Veer 40 degrees to starboard, Mr. Sulu.
40 degrees.
So you see, that's it. But, and like Mr. Captain was saying, if Discovery is as it's presented in Star Trek Discovery, if the Discovery itself is a science vessel, then it would make perfect sense that Kirk would order to notify that ship. Anson Mount's also going to be in Wales. Well, I'm jealous of you if you go to see him there. I would, again, if any of you go to one of these cons and you meet Anson Mount, do me a favor and tell him that the Anti-Trekker says hello. And of course, him being a huge follower of this channel, well, that would be so funny if he actually was. But yeah. That is canon. The Discovery, a ship. They miswrote or missaid the line. Well, and that's the thing, is that regardless of if it was not intended, that's what it feels like. It does feel like and I'll, you know, and because we have to accept, as much as we don't like to, we have to accept that Discovery is part of the Star Trek universe. And by the way, you can see that we are still moving slowly past this galaxy. I do love this background. I think it's really good. Okay, I should have left a while ago, so I'm going to go now. All right, in that case, you have a wonderful rest of your day, my friend, and I'm sorry for making you stick around too long. Mount is really great. Yeah, Anson Mount is really good as Pike, as long as Burnham is not in the room with him. That's the problem with the show, is that they're so obsessed with making Burnham perfect that they neuter Captain Pike whenever she's in the room, and that's a real shame, because when he is able to cut loose as Pike, he is awesome, but when she is in the room, it just drags it down, and that's why I'm working on doing a re-edit of some of these episodes to try and make it better. Ethan Peck has a tiny head, but he's otherwise a good choice for Spock. I think Ethan Peck is knocking it out of the park as Spock. I really do. By the way, Geek Factor 9 has his own channel. If anyone here wants a new nerd channel to fill in the gaps, you should check him out. Well, there you go. Geek Factor 9, guys. Mr. Miles is officially plugging him. And by the way, that's cool. Because I want, and Geek Factor, I haven't watched your videos yet, but if you're producing stuff, awesome. And I want all of the genuine members of the nerd community to be successful. So so let me bring up your channel here so everybody can see. So here is Geek Factor 9's channel. And let's take a look here. So Geek Factor's got a lot of stuff here. Looks like a lot of good, but look at this. Come on now. Now I haven't watched his videos. I don't know how good they are, but 8 views, 9 views. How many subscribers you got, Geek Factor? I'll subscribe right now here. I just hit the subscribe button on mine. But how many subscribers you got on here? Let's go to. You don't show your subscriber count, so I see how you are. He's notified the discovery because he knows Admiral Burnham is on there and was the only one qualified. Yes, very true. Ansomount looked too gray in the last episode. I don't know if they dye his hair. I don't know how they're doing the hair. I like, that's the thing though. I think that it's nice to see a middle-aged guy in a strong position like that, because people talk about, we need more strong women. We need strong older men too. That's something that is really not something you see very often. I'm plenty new with this channel, like 59 viewers. All right, so we need to get him up there. So make sure that you are subscribed to Geek Factor 9. And so there you go, Geek Factor. You should get a few more subscribers because they are my drones and obey my. No, I'm sorry, I'm not Doomcock. I've taken a look around his channel, and he needs a better mic, but he's got decent content otherwise. Well, in that case, Geek Factor, you need to get yourself a new mic. That is, and let me tell you, get serious about your microphone. That is the most important factor. I got this microphone long before I got a better camera, long before I set up the green screen. The mic is key. Do you remember Warner Wolf? No. And Star Trek says, do you remember Caps Lock? No, he does not. Ansomount was great in Hell on Wheels. I have not seen Hell on Wheels. So Mark says, nice tick tattoo. Yes. So this, I am very proud of this tattoo. I do really like this one. So I've been meaning to. Eventually, I'm going to get a Deadpool tattoo right here, and Deadpool's going to be looking at the tick and yelling "fork." My mic will be a future upgrade. Love feedback is welcome. Yeah, and I'll take anybody. And I've said this before, and I've said this to Dr. Alex. I've said this to lots and lots of people on YouTube. Is that if you're planning on doing what I'm doing right now, right? Whether you're doing it just for fun or you're hoping to make money with it, the #1 investment you need to make is your microphone. If you sound good, people will watch your videos. If you sound like crap, people may like what you're saying, but they'll eventually turn it off because they don't like the sound of it. And so if you invest as many pennies as you can, and start out with something basic like a Blue Ice kind of thing, or one of those USB mics that's a good consumer grade mic, then eventually move yourself up to something a little more professional if you can. Warner Wolf, the sportscaster. I have no idea who Warner Wolf is. Personally, after Michael Burnham's mutiny, I thought she who would never make the rank of commander, rear admiral, lower. Yes. Oh, Michael Burnham's going to be chief of Starfleet by the end of this. Warner Wolf is a sports announcer in the 80s. His catchphrase was, "Let's go to the videotape." I was never into sports that much, so that might be why I don't know who Warner Wolf is. Thank you, Anti-Dragon. Appreciate Mr. Miles tossing my name out there and your crew give me a chance. Absolutely. And Geek Factor, that's all I ask, is that people check out these channels. I mean, you guys know that I talk about BIRDOPREY's channel a lot. And don't get me wrong, like everybody has their unique spin on things. And that's what I look for in a channel. I don't want to watch a channel that's exactly like, say, Lore Reloaded, because I can always just watch Lore Reloaded. I want someone's unique vision, what they're trying to do. Ensign Ricky has his way of doing things, and that's different than the way that I do things. So that's cool. We complement each other. If somebody simply does the exact same thing that everybody else does, it's no fun, right? So if, for example, Nerdrotic, who I have a lot of respect for, he does, most of his content is live streaming. He does a great job with it. He gets hundreds and hundreds of people watching his live streams, and he is a true, I'll tell you, Nerdrotic is absolutely a true expert when it comes to comic books and stuff like that. And I think that that's part of the reason why he was much more offended by Captain Marvel than I ever was. And that's something I want to talk to him about sometime, because I think it's because of his involvement with the comic book industry that he got that he was bothered so much by the film. For me, because I gave up on comic books right around 1990, this modern crap with Captain Marvel's never been a factor for me. The last time I saw Captain Marvel was when she got her powers sucked away by Rogue. And so that in and of itself changes our perspective on things. But if Nerdrotic was doing exactly what I do, I wouldn't like it. Now, Nerdrotic has some similarities and some differences from me. Same thing with Mecha, with Doomcock, with Midnight's Edge, with Trek Yards. With all of these guys, they do things that are unique and different. Trek Yards is nothing like me, is nothing like Nerdrotic, but Trek Yards is, Trek Yards is ship porn, pure and simple. And if you like ship porn, Trek Yards is your channel, right? But don't go to Trek Yards expecting them to rip apart Star Trek Discovery. If you want someone to rip apart Star Trek Discovery in detail, you want me. If you want someone to do an overview of how bad it is, you want Nerdrotic or Mecha, right? Or actually, Mecha does live reactions like I do now too. So, but there's a difference between the channels, and if we all stay different, even though we're doing content on similar subject matter, that's cool. We complement each other and it makes the community grow. But if we're all just imitating each other, then just whoever does it best wins. And that's not what I like. Wesley Crusher says, "What's up, my anti-friends?" And Star Trek says, "Shut up, Wesley." Peter says Nerdrotic is very cool. He is. He's a cool dude. I stopped comics in 2000, sold a bunch for my house down payment. Wow, the prices dropped. I still have my entire collection. The last comic book I ever purchased, and God willing, this will be the last comic book I ever purchased, was Fantastic Four #1 for the recent reboot. And I only purchased this because I love the Fantastic Four. Even though this comic book is trash, I got it just so that I have the first issue of them coming back. Do you have ambient engine? Oh, you know what? The ambient engine noise is playing. I'm sorry. That's probably annoying. So let me turn that down. There. Is that better? So that's my bad. I forgot that the YouTube video that is the galaxy flyby. And you can see we've actually now in the arm of the galaxy. But yeah, absolutely this is a great video, man. I'm definitely going to download this and use this on a more regular basis. I'm going to probably try to find a few videos like this for my live streams. No, the ambient noise was nice. Oh, okay, well, I can turn it back up a little bit. I just didn't want to bother you guys with it. No, keep it on a lower level. But now, the Orville's a comic book coming out. Mr. Miles says, I'm interested. I'm sorry, but you know what? Comic books to me have just lost their appeal, and Marvel in particular. But all the comics that I've seen lately have been crap. I thought the engine noise was playing. Couldn't tell what the tinnitus. I feel you there, Peter. I have really, really bad tinnitus to where there are. It actually, when it's really bad. It drives Mrs. Aunt Chicken nuts sometimes because I have to turn the volume of the TV up much louder than she does. Not because I can't hear, but because the tinnitus drowns things out. And unfortunately, there's nothing you can do about it. You need an Orville Bridge as your background, too. The Orville Bridge, honestly, is not that visually appealing to me. I like the Orville as a show, but what makes Orville work is the characters, not the setting. Although the Orville ship I like is a nice original design. But the bridge itself, it just looks like, you know what, honestly, the Orville Bridge looks like a fan-made Star Trek The Next Generation bridge. You remember the Starfield screensaver for Windows 95? Yes, used to use it all the time. If you turn around, you'll look like you're in the captain's chair. Yes. Yeah, look at that. Oh, that's cool. So Geek Factor has already reserved the Orville comic. Hey, you should do a review of it when it comes out. Mine does on occasion too. Can't hear myself think sometimes. Yeah, bad tinnitus is an annoyance to end all annoyances. So morning, spring break. Why am I awake? Good question. I love to see Daddy DeVito as an admiral in the Orville. Well, I wouldn't be surprised. Best thing about Windows 95 was Space Cadet 3D Pinball. I don't remember that one. Thankfully, it comes and goes. Trigger, no idea what triggers it. Yeah, for me, it's always there. Like, I can hear it right now, and it is very annoying. But but there are times when it gets much worse, and part of it has to do with the ambient noise level in the room. The quieter a room is, the more pronounced it becomes, and the louder, if there's only a single sound source, the louder it needs to be in order for me to be able to focus in on it. Does anyone here play Bridge Crew for PS4? I have never played it. One thing that I'm planning on doing, though, in the very near future is I have a PS4 that I haven't played in a while, and I want to set it up on here at my desk so that sometime me and BIRDOPREY can play games together because he likes to play on his PS4. Missed the Windows 95 game Jezbal. That's if you change one letter in that, that would be the nastiest game in all of history, BIRDOPREY. Just change one letter, and that's just, yeah. Would you rather have lore talking in your ear compared to the tinnitus? You mean like lore talking in my ear 24/7? No, I'll take the tinnitus. You don't VR anymore? I never got into the VR thing. It won't run on a 64-bit Windows because it was a 16-bit game. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Miles. Yes, that's the letter I was thinking of. We've seen 3 or 4 honorable admirals on the Orville. I don't think we've had that many honorable admirals in all of Star Trek. Star Trek does have a problem with its leadership. But now, of course, thanks to Discovery, we know why all the admirals are evil. It's because Section 31 has an Uber computer in their secret prison facility that is telling all the admirals what to do. Bam! What was the point in the conspiracy episode of TNG when really there's a computer at Section 31 headquarters that's telling all the admirals what to do, and that computer's already evil? So why do we need alien cockroaches climbing into people's necks to... Anyway. Mr. Miles says, I played Jizzball. Okay. I need more bits on my PC. Windows 10 scares the bejesus out of me. My OS from 2011 and tried to make me get it. No control. Windows 10 ain't bad. I like it. Geek Factor 9 says, Antitricker, thank you for the cat, but needs some sleep. Good day to you and your crew. Thank you, Mr. Miles. Actually, Geek Factor, oh, chat. Okay, I was going to say I didn't give you a cat, but okay. Have a great... I guess it's night for you, Geek Factor. What part of the world are you in before you sign off? I'm curious. Skynet runs Section 31. Apparently, yes. You know what, Antichecker? You're pretty damn good. I'm going to subscribe to you right now. I don't care what Bird says about you. Well, thank you, Richie. Yeah, BIRDOPREY can be kind of a jerk, and we all know it. But, you know. And, by the way, BIRDOPREY, is your nurse still there? Is Camille still there? Just wondering. I might take my hair down again if she is. Bridge Crew, you can fly the TOS bridge. Well, Bridge Crew sounds like a fun game, but yeah, I don't have time. Why am I alive? Because you're not dead, Wesley. Why follow the computer on disco after you got your butts kicked during the Klingon Arc War? Good question, but the answer is quantum. Midwest U.S., but I'm up all night due to health issues. All right, I feel you, man. In that case, get some rest, geek. Have a wonderful day sleep. Also, hit that bell icon. Yes. I wish I could run my old TRS-80 game Dungeons and Dragons again, but wouldn't be as much fun now. I'll tell you, one of my favorite old text-based games was Leather Goddesses of Phobos. If you've never played it, it is hilarious. And it's the first scratch and sniff smell game. Yeah, I'm not even making that up. And the way they do it, they set it up so well in that game. Because they tell you the most filthy sounding things and it's not filthy. So like at the beginning of the game, you choose your gender by going to the bathroom, and you walk up to the bathroom and it says you feel the urge, you need to go to the bathroom. You need to go in the women's room or the men's room, whichever one you pick, that determines your gender for the game. So you go into the bathroom, and then it says that as you sit down on the toilet, you begin to smell a familiar scent wafting up into your nose, and it says scratch number 1. And you're like, oh, geez. So you scratch it, and you get this, like, spicy kind of smell. And then you hit the continue button, and it says, yes, you look down and see a hot piece of pizza is sitting on the floor next to the toilet. You know, that kind of thing. How do you know everything is real? You don't. The only thing you absolutely know with 100% certainty is self-existence. Dude, Mercer, I'm coming to your house and ripping out your caps button. Camille left about 30 minutes ago. Ah, too bad. Too bad. Hope we gave her some good entertainment, though, today, Bird. That was a great game, and yes, the Wizardly series was great, played on Mac. I never played the Wizardy series. And then there was Leisure Suit Larry. Leisure Suit Larry came a bit later. That was a graphic. Well, actually, the original Leisure Suit Larry was, in fact, just text, I believe. Don't forget Zork, of course. Nothing is real. The cake was a lie. True. And Mercer has found his caps lock button again, says Wesley Crusher is almost the same age now as when Patrick Stewart first played Picard. Yeah, isn't that scary? That's it. I'm coming over, Mercer. Watch out, Mercer. That caps lock is enraging Star Trek. Only 2 genders ban the game. Yeah, I know. Today, people would say how horrible that is. No, I'm not that old, says Wesley. Richie says, I'm real. The rest of you part of my latest holodeck program. Well, see, here's the funny thing, is that you could say that and be 100% serious about it, but the problem is that I happen to know that I am real. And so so it's possible that everybody else is in a holodeck program, or you could just be part of my holodeck program, suggesting that everyone else is a part of the holodeck program. You did. She enjoyed it. Okay. Mercer says, I can't wait to get Bumblebee on digital. Mercer, caps lock. Oh, man. So, and I know it's accidental because you keep, like, hitting the shift key, like with Bumblebee, with your proper nouns, and put it in lowercase. So I get that it's accidental, but you... And BIRDOPREY is supporting the caps lock rebellion. So it's possible we exist in a 4-dimensional construct like the Matrix that technically would be a flat Earth. True. I programmed you to say that, Anti-Trekker. Oh, is that what it was? Okay. Mercer Create just saw Bumblebee on satellite. Awesome. Bumblebee was not a bad movie. I didn't think it was like the greatest thing ever, but I thought it was good. Caps have rights too, says BIRDOPREY. No, they don't. Caps are not a thing that has rights. If we're all holograms, then you're crazy. That's true. Okay, busted. I'm part of the holodeck program, says Ryan. And Mr. Miles says, this is an accident. Star Trek now says, if we all talk in caps, Mercer will start using lowercase to be noticed. Wow, you guys are just being horrible today. Saturday Anti-Trekker for Bumblebee. Okay. Changing username to Anti-Capper. You know what? That's the funny thing is that BIRDOPREY, if you could change your username to Anti-Capper, because it sounds like that sounds like a mafia name. Yeah, I'm the Anti-Capper. Now Peter Quinn is in on it. Oh, geez, you guys are getting bad. Richie, why would you make me in your holodeck program? Good question. Why would you include Wesley Crusher in your holodeck fantasies? I mean, what is it about Wesley that you fantasize about? I'm just wondering. So if you could fill us in on that. What? My cat is the right to remain silent? Dang yous. Surf? I have no idea what that was supposed to be. But then again, you guys are a bunch of weirdies. So weirdos. So everyone can tell you to shut up, Wesley. Oh, okay, well there you go. That makes sense. Punching Wesley in the face is a good fantasy. Well, okay. But are you really punching him in the face, or is there something else going on? Would it make sense to throw a couple of photon torpedoes into Section 31 control base prison just to eliminate the AI threat? Yes, it absolutely would. Bentox. And by the way, Bentox, let me say this. Thank you again for this. I'm getting lots and lots of use out of this, so thank you very much. I do appreciate it. Why is MEGGACHAT 1 in your holodeck? There's a good question. Enter, I had a fantasy about putting Wesley in an escape pod while at high warp. Okay. Well, you know, the escape pod actually is symbolic of your butt. What would be a good time to do my City Skyline stream today? Well, that depends on how long you're going to be streaming. So I am actually, today's going to be a rough day for me, I'll be honest with you, because in just a minute I'm going to have to finish up this stream because I have to work for a couple of hours. After I work for a couple of hours, then I have to drive Mrs. Anti-Trekker and her friend Mary Lou to Nashville, because as some of you know, Mary Lou is actually came over the other night. On Saturday night, I drove to the Nashville airport to pick her up. And here's because Mary Lou, like I said, good friend of Mrs. Anti-Trekker, is going to a conference in nearby Kentucky. And what she did was she flew in a couple of days early so that she and Mrs. Anti-Trekker could hang out. And then, but tonight she needs to get a drive up, ride to Nashville, where she has a reservation for a rental car and stuff to pick up and drive to Kentucky. So I will tell you this, Bird of Prey, I would suggest the later the stream, like if you started streaming, let's see, I'm going to be there at, I have to drop off Mary Lou at 6 p.m. Eastern. So if you start your live stream after 6 p.m. Eastern, I'll be able to catch some of it when I get home. Anti-Trekker, when is the patron stream plan? Well, you see, that I got to figure out a way to squeeze that in with all this going on too. So I'll probably, the patron stream will probably be a later stream for us tonight. Honestly, probably closer to 8, maybe even 9 o'clock tonight, because just so much going on. So I apologize for that, but I couldn't get around it. There's just too much going on. Speaking of which, I do need to wrap things up because I do need to work in a little while, and I also need to work on getting that stupid video finished. Well, it's not stupid, but my next Borg video, I need to get it finished. Otherwise, you guys are going to get really mad at me for not producing any content. I like the Enterprise episode where they find the Xindi spheres and chase after pirates. Yeah? Well, the Enterprise, that's where Enterprise really, with the Xindi Wars, where that show started picking up steam and did so much better. Anti-Trekker, I'm going to send you a message on anti-trekker.com in a few. Please check it when you can. Of course I will, Bird of Prey. So, in the meantime, guys, I am going to wrap it up there. And so thank you all for hanging out with me. And, you know, remember, your life is a story, so don't crap on it or something, blah, blah. I don't have an ending. I need a sign-off. I really suck at this. Yeah.